How to post primary trade lines to boost your credit legally. What if I told you there's a way to legally post powerful primary trade lines to your credit report, without breaking any laws, buying shelf core, or risking your future? Stay tuned, I'm about to show you how the professionals do it. 1. Understanding primary trade lines. You must begin by distinguishing a primary trade line from an authorized user trade line. A primary trade line is a credit account for which you are the original borrower and contractually liable. It is fundamentally different from an authorized user position, in which you are merely added to an existing account but bear no legal responsibility. Primary trade lines carry significantly more weight in the calculation of your credit score. Because you are directly obligated under the contract, your payment history, utilization, and age of account reflect more heavily in all major scoring models, including FICO and Vantage Score. Credit bureaus recognize primary trade lines as the most credible indicator of personal creditworthiness. As such, lenders reviewing your report rely primarily on these accounts to assess your risk and repayment reliability. You are therefore advised to focus on acquiring and managing your own primary accounts before relying on the benefit of piggybacking or third-party credit boosting services. Footnote. This section defines primary trade lines and explains why they serve as the most credible evidence of personal creditworthiness. 2. Legal and strategic methods to post primary trade lines. You have several lawful pathways to post primary trade lines to your credit file, but they must be pursued with full knowledge of legal boundaries and credit bureau protocols. The most reliable method is to apply directly for credit accounts under your own name. These may include secured credit cards, credit builder loans, personal lines of credit, or installment agreements with verifiable lenders. Another advanced method is through business credit trade lines, where you establish a business entity, obtain an employer identification number, EIN, and apply for vendor credit that reports to both commercial and consumer bureaus. When executed properly, these accounts can function as hybrid trade lines, simultaneously boosting your business profile and personal credit, especially when you serve as the personal guarantor. There are also strategic arrangements in which you may contract with a data furnisher or credit reporting service, where the entity legally reports a trade line on your behalf. This must be done in compliance with the Fair Credit Reporting Act, FCRA, and Metro 2 formatting standards. Attempting to post false or unverifiable trade lines, or using synthetic identities, is strictly prohibited under federal law and could result in criminal charges. Footnote. This section outlines legitimate, FCRA-compliant methods for posting primary trade lines through direct credit acquisition, business credit, or data furnishing services. 3. Metro 2 compliance and the role of data furnishers. You must understand that the reporting of primary trade lines to the credit bureaus requires a strict adherence to Metro 2 data formatting standards, a system developed by the Consumer Data Industry Association, CDIA. This format governs how trade line data is transmitted to the major credit bureaus and includes hundreds of fields regulating account status, payment history, balance, credit limits, and more. To post trade lines yourself or on behalf of a client, you would need to become an approved data furnisher with each bureau. This process includes meeting legal, technical, and financial qualifications. You must also undergo audits and agree to data accuracy terms under federal law. Failure to maintain proper formatting and legal accuracy can lead to suspension, fines, or civil penalties under the FCRA and FCPA. If you are not a data furnisher, you may contract with an existing, compliant entity, but that entity must have a valid subscriber agreement and post verifiable trade lines backed by real transactions. Attempting to bypass this system through credit boosting scams, fake loans, or deceptive entries is both unethical and unlawful. Footnote. This section explains the Metro 2 standard and the legal responsibilities of data furnishers under federal consumer reporting law. 4. The dangers of synthetic trade lines and fraudulent credit boosting. You are strongly cautioned against engaging with companies or individuals who promise to post primary trade lines using synthetic identities, shelf corporations, or unverifiable loans. These schemes often involve social security numbers that do not match your personal credit file or fabricated business histories. Posting a fraudulent trade line violates multiple federal statutes, including the FCRA, the Identity Theft and Assumption Deterrence Act, and various wire fraud laws. Even if the trade line temporarily boosts your score, it can be retroactively deleted, flagged as fraud, and result in permanent damage to your credit profile, not to mention potential legal action. True primary trade lines must be rooted in real contracts, verifiable data, and legal standing. If the trade is not backed by a real account in your name, issued by a real creditor, and reported with your consent, it does not belong on your report. Footnote: this section warns against the legal and ethical consequences of engaging in fraudulent trade line posting schemes using synthetic identities or unverifiable data. If you're ready to take control of your credit file and report your own trade lines the legal way, not the shady way, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, and download the bonus resources in the description below.